And one day we might get back to tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. This is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. On this feast is when the Lord brought us through the Red Sea. All right. Also, I'm going to say this before I leave it. The Passover was good last night, but I heard that one of the gentlemen at the Passover, the little boy come and took the cracker, but he wouldn't give the boy the wine. Look here. The Lord, Solomon said, raise up a child in the way he should go, and he will not depart from it. If he's big enough to walk up and get a cracker, he's big enough to drink some of that wine, okay? All or nothing. So now we have the reading of the law. Exodus, the 20th chapter, verses 1 through 17. Okay, go ahead.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor.
Let's go into Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. Read verses 13 and 14. Go ahead.
All right. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Let's go into Revelation chapter 22. Read verses 14 and 15. Go ahead.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without our dogs, sorcerers, whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
We want to thank God for the reading of the commandments.
Yes, sir. Praise the Lord.
You know, sisters and brothers, the commandments is the difference between salvation and the lake of fire. And you have the churches teaching that you don't have to keep God's commandments no more. Like we used to say years ago on the cable TV program, when we read them, then we ask the question, what's wrong with them? So if you don't keep God's commandments, showing up at church is a waste of your time. It's all that simple. Good afternoon. It is always good to stand before you on another one of the Lord's high days. So we're going to get into this lesson so we can get after that food, sisters and brothers. But this is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Unleavened bread, in this case, the spiritual side is, this is the feast where you are supposed to be free of sin. How did you become free of sin? You did that on the Passover. Because the Passover put you under the blood. And as long as you're under the blood, you're supposed to be sin-free. It took us some years to come to that. But then the Lord showed us in time what he wants us to know. So we're going to deal with this day, sisters and brothers, because this day the Lord represents more than us that's being sprung from captive, the house of bondage, which was Egypt. Also, it sprung us from sin. Once you turn to the Lord, get baptized in the name of the Lord, you come under the blood, Lord, you're going to pass over your sin, and you're supposed to make every effort not to sin again. But let's start this in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. Leviticus chapter 23, and we're going to start reading at verse 1. Leviticus 23 and verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, and saying to them concerning the feast of the Lord.
Now, concerning the feast of the Jews.
Lord.
Concerning the feast of the Lord, sisters and brothers, I always want to make that point. Because people talk about the feast of Jews. First thing, it is not the feast of the Jews. And if it was, you wouldn't know who the feast of the Jews, who the Jews was. Because the world gave you a whole different people.
That's right.
Plus, you ain't but one tribe. Jacob had 12 sons. Go ahead and read.
Which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts.
Shall proclaim a holy convocation. This is what we're having right now, hold together. Even these are my feasts. If you are in a position to have a holy convocation, you're supposed to have it. This is not a request. It's a commandment. Go ahead.
6 days shall work be done. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
Go ahead.
And holy convocation.
Go ahead.
Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
Now, so the Lord put the regular weekly Sabbath day on the table first, because that represents what the Lord, the time that God have gave man. And you still have to have a holy convocation. Somebody's forgetting that. Like, well, you know, if I do it, look, the Lord gave you a commandment and do it. And the Sabbath day is so important to the Lord is that he put it in his 10 commandments. The 10 principles of God, which covers everything. Go ahead and read.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
You have to do this in this season. You can't like having Passover and then communion and sacrament every third or fourth Sunday. Go ahead.
In the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover.
Now, I want you to pay attention to this, sisters and brothers, because you have people running around teaching that the Passover and the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread is the same day. But it says here on the 14th day of the month, Abiab is the Lord's Passover. Go ahead and read.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
When did 14 and 15 become the same number? Go ahead and read.
Unto the Lord 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. And in the first day you shall have an holy convocation.
Go ahead.
And ye shall do no servile work therein.
That's the first day. We have a holy convocation right now. This is what this is. And you're not supposed to go to your job. Go ahead and read.
But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And in the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Yes, and you know, in Exodus the 12th chapter, it tells you should do no manner of work. So, whichever one you think you should do. Servile does not go to your job. No manner, don't do no work. Don't wash your car, don't clean your house. don't build your dog a house. But still, sisters and brothers, this is the feast of unleavened bread. I get phone calls all the time. Brother Boy, should I throw out my baking soda and my flour? I said, look, it said unleavened bread. Unleavened means unrisen, sisters and brothers. It's all that simple. Unleavened bread. It didn't say unleavened agents. Bread. Had a discussion about the unleavened cakes. I remember the last time we had cakes at the Israel God, it looked pretty risen to me. Well, you know, because they didn't have time for the dough to rise, they made unleavened cakes in the wilderness. I said, I sure like to know their secret. Because every cake I ever seen had risen. It's all that simple, sisters and brothers. But now, this is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And this feast means something, is because you are supposed to be sin-free. Keep your marker here. We're coming right back. Let's go into 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter. We're coming right back here. 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter. See this 23rd chapter of Leviticus, and these feasts and these holidays that we have, these are things that are telling you about salvation. This is what it's all about. If it don't have nothing in salvation, it's not in the Leviticus 23rd chapter, like Purging and a whole lot of other ones. It's not here, sisters and brothers. New Year's, it is not here. We have a bad habit of adding things. And you keep adding and keep adding. After a while, you done forgot what you're supposed to do. At the Israeli God, we're going to do what's in this book. If it's not in this book, we ain't doing it. Don't even bring it to me. 1 Corinthians 5, and we're going to start at verse 7. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. Okay, go ahead.
Purge out therefore the old leaven.
Go ahead.
That you may be a new lump.
Purge out therefore the old leaven, that you might be a new lump. Go ahead.
As ye are unleavened.
As you are unleavened. Go ahead.
For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us.
Even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. Then when the sacrifice, the blood of Jesus is what purges you of your sin. This is what the leaven stands for. So you're supposed to be purged. So once you're purging your sin, then that's why unleavened bread came right after it, sister and brother, because we're supposed to be sin-free now. Go ahead.
8th verse. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with the old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice
Let us
and
keep
wickedness.
the feast. Let us keep the feast. Not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness. Go ahead.
But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
That means that you have been purged. You're walking in God's law now. In order to do that, you have to keep the commandments, sisters and brothers. That's why unleavened bread came after the Passover. You cannot have beef sin-free before the blood is shed. Because that's what purges you. That's what covers you in your sin. So it's not an accident that unleavened bread came after the Passover. Cannot come on the Passover. Because the book tells you that the blood of bulls and goats cannot remove sin. So if Jesus hadn't died, how could you be sin-free? Now let's go back to Exodus the 12th chapter. I told you to keep your marker there. Exodus chapter 12. And we're going to start reading at verse 15. Exodus 12, and we're going to start reading at verse 15. Because if the Lord didn't want us to understand these things, sisters and brothers, it wouldn't be here. Because God is not a vain God. If it don't need to be done, he don't do it. If it don't need to be known, then he would not have had it written in this book. It's all that simple. And if it needs to be known, it's written in this book, and you don't have to go searching trying to find some other lost book. Ecclesiastes says this is given by one shepherd.
That's right.
Verse 15, go ahead.
7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread.
Uh-huh.
Even the first day you shall put away leaven out of your houses.
Uh-huh.
For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
Now, wait a minute. You missed something here. Read that again.
You said 15?
Uh-huh.
7 days shall you eat unleavened bread.
Uh-huh.
Even the first day you shall put away leaven out of your house.
Go ahead.
For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
Something is missing here.
We got to go back to Leviticus.
Huh?
Let's go back to Leviticus.
What I'm saying, 7 days you should eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your house. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. I don't understand that. Look like he left a word out. Whosoever shall not eat unleavened bread, gonna be cut off.
Okay.
I just discovered a typo. How can you be cut off if you eat unleavened bread? If you eat, let me see, didn't I say leaven or unleavened?
Unleavened.
Oh, I see now. I'm wrong. Whoso eateth leavened bread, I'm thinking unleavened. In other words, sisters and brothers, if you don't put the leavened bread out of your house, then, and really you should put it out before Passover. The day before Passover, not a day after. We used to teach after Passover. Right. But now how is you going to be purged from sin and the next day you're going to indulge in it? Okay? And then the next day you go sin free again. Don't work like that. But what verse are we?
We are 16th verse.
15, go ahead and read.
We're at 16.
16, go ahead.
And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation. And in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you.
Go ahead.
No manner of work shall be done in them.
See, that's what I said. Now here it says no manner of work. In Leviticus, but the Leviticus is the one that sets the law, sisters and brothers. And it said no servile work. Go ahead and read.
Save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you.
Go ahead.
And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt.
Now, what day did he bring us out of Egypt?
Well, unleavened bread.
The selfsame day. That is the day that the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, sisters and brothers. And we have to keep that in mind. Go ahead and read.
Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever.
Go ahead.
In the first.
Now let's skip down to verse 21 now. Okay. Verse 21.
Ready.
And go ahead.
Then Moses called all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike it on the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning. Now,
we want to make a note of that. That means they had to stay in the house until the day broke, sisters and brothers. So nobody goes out. That is very clear to me. Skip down to verse 29. Verse 29, and go ahead.
And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth on the throne.
Go ahead.
Unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon.
Uh-huh.
All the firstborn of cattle.
I mean, the Lord said if he going to kill the firstborn, he going to do it. Go ahead and read.
And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians.
Go ahead.
And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
You know, the Lord is thorough. He don't miss nothing, do it. There was not a house that there wasn't one dead. Only one that they didn't have one dead, that they had the firstborn was not smitten, was in the house of Israel, and that's because they had the blood over their doorposts. I'm pretty sure if you had some Egyptian that heard that and feared God, that he'd put the blood over the doorposts and wouldn't have killed them either. Because he said, when I see the blood, I'm going to pass over that house. Go ahead and read.
31. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people.
Go ahead.
Both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord. As ye have said, also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, be gone.
No, at first he told y'all can go, but you can't keep your stocks, you know, your cattle with you. This time he said, look, take everything with you. God know how to get your attention. Go ahead and read.
And the Egyptians were urging upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste.
Go ahead.
For they said, we be all dead men.
And
the people took their dough and before it was leavened, and their kneading cloths being bound up in their clothes until their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels and silver.
Now that's why I want him to this is why I'm going to let him read a little more. Because people ask me, well, brother boy, you know, what if I ain't got no money? What if I can't do this here when it's time to come? I said, the Lord's going to fix it. Moses told him, look, you go to the Egyptians. Now, we're among the Americans, ain't we? Start back at the top of that 31st verse. 35th verse.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses.
And what did Moses tell them?
And they borrowed of the Egyptian jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
Well, so they went to the Egyptians and got all that stuff that they needed, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
And they wanted. Why not? You're the slave for it. We built this country. Why shouldn't we get paid? The Lord said, well, I'm going to pay you on your way out. Go ahead.
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians.
So we're going to get to spoil these people when it's time to go. Don't worry about it. You ain't got no money for no ticket, God's going to provide you a ticket just like he split a sea. Don't worry about it. You ain't got no food, God's going to make these people give you whatever you need. He is going to let you spoil the people that have spoiled you. And they're going to do it so quick until you're going to want to live and they want us gone. Think about it. Keep reading.
Verse 37. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men besides children.
Now, that's 600,000 males. They didn't even count the women and children. Go ahead and read.
And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
Now, when we leave, sisters and brothers, it's going to be a mixed multitude with us. Because they're starting to look at our God, and some of us say, well, I'm going with the people of God. It is written that everybody should turn to their own people, and they all should flee to their own country. Well, some of them go say, well, hey, Israel is my country now.
I don't.
And I'm going to say something that the Hebrews do not like me to say. When they go, you got to give them an inheritance among you.
Yes, sir. That's what the book says.
It's all that simple. I read that and got thrown out of the little old house in Loden Homes over there. Go ahead.
39. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt.
Now, they say baked unleavened cakes. We ain't figured out how to do that yet. Every time, that's the last time we had our look. But this is unleavened. I'm keep looking at this cake this tall. I ain't never seen no dough that tall. Well, you know, there's a secret recipe. I tell you what. We're going to let it remain secret. You can't get off cake for 1 week? Come on, go ahead.
Well, it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry, neither had they prepared them for themselves any victuals.
Go ahead.
Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
So they was down in Egypt for 430 years, sisters and brothers. And after that, the Lord sprung us, and we came out on the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Let's go into Deuteronomy, the 16th chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 16. It's all written. All we got to do is read it, sisters and brothers. The Lord told us everything that's going on, and believe it or not, it's going to be just about like that when we get ready to leave. But we ain't going directly to the land. Hebrews don't know that. But I've been listening to a lot of the Hebrew people out there. They are not talking about going back to Israel. They're talking about getting a better position in America. I said, boy, who's reading? When the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, he did not leave one Hebrew Israelite in Egypt. Not one.
Right.
What makes you think it's going to be the same this time? Oh, the one that's go to the wilderness, yeah, we're going to go, and a lot of people are going to be left. But once Jesus gets back, he's going to set his hand a second time to recover Israel. That means he's going to recover us from wherever we are. If you hit under the rock, he's going to turn it over here. Come on up out of this hole. Because he said, if you are scattered into the outmost country, the most remote country, from this I'm going to gather you. And he said also, he's going to gather you one by one. That's so right. If you ain't no family, you're single or one by yourself, they're going to get you. And then you're going to say, come on here. Verse 1, 16 and 1. Go ahead and read.
Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover to the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
By night? Wait a minute. Did he tell Israel not to come out of their house until morning?
Right.
So that means this had to be another night other than the night of the Passover, don't it?
Yes, sir.
What I'm saying is, people that's trying to argue that unleavened bread and the first day and Passover the same day, they have not read this book. And when you hold them against it, they're upset at you. Go ahead and read what verse?
Second verse.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Lord's Passover unto the Lord thy God of the flock and of the herb in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name there.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt eat.
Now let me make a point here.
Yes.
Some of the Israelites used to argue in the old days, we ain't supposed to keep no feast because you can't keep a feast in your enemy's land. The Lord said, shall choose the place.
That's right. Put his name.
Where his name is there. I think the Lord's name is here in the Israel of God.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, why are we doing this? Because the Lord chose us to do this.
Yes, sir.
That's why we're doing it. Because he said, in all of your generation, aren't we a part of a generation?
Yes, we are.
Go ahead and read.
Third verse. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt, all the days of thy life.
That means you ain't supposed to forget it, you're supposed to practice it. Go ahead and read.
And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coasts 7 days. Neither shall there anything of the flesh, which thou hast sacrificed the first day at evening remain all night until the morning.
Now that was talking about Jesus, sisters and brothers.
Yes.
When the people got to the sepulchre, how much of Jesus did they find?
None.
None. It ain't like a funeral that you go to where, you know, that's That's Brother Jackson now. That ain't him. That's his shell. If that's the case, then, and he's like Jesus, how come his shell is left here? That's why I tell you, you ain't supposed to find none of the Passover lamb.
That's right.
None. Skip down to verse 8 and go ahead.
6 days shall thou eat leavened bread. 6 days shall thou eat unleavened bread. And on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work therein.
Now, we had people that said a solemn assembly mean that you ain't supposed to eat on that day. But the book said, in other places we're going to read, that the book said on the 7th day you eat too. You understand? Every assembly that's assembled in the name of God is a solemn assembly.
Yes.
I mean, it is serious. That's what solemnity is. This is something that's serious.
That's right.
And all the days that you meet in the name of the Lord, if they ain't serious, then what is? Y'all understand?
Yes.
So let's go. I want you to put this up, sisters and brothers, because I want to put up on the board right quick Exodus, the 12th chapter, and Deuteronomy, the 16th chapter, because I want to see and show you that these are two different times. Exodus 12, 20 to 21 to 22, and Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Put that on the board up there right quick. So why am I going through all of this? It's because we have these people out here that keep confusing things. I know we used to have it, but we've lost it now. Where you put Deuteronomy and Exodus the 12 up together. Well, I look at it today, so apparently somebody forgot it. So we're going to read them anyway. Is there? Okay, now look at this, what it says. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall, these mess me up. I'm an old guy, you can't be switching on me. Don't do that no more. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. None of you shall go out at the door of his house until morning. Is that clear?
That's clear.
I don't need no interpretation, don't it? Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover on the Lord's, unto the Lord thy God. In the month of Abib, the Lord thy God, let me see. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. How can he bring them out of Egypt by night and they're in their house all night? Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God of the flock and the herd in the place which the Lord choose to place his name there. But the thing about it is, at first verse he said, he brought them out by night. But the Lord told you on the Passover, don't come out of your house until morning. But people don't read. Because you can't be in your house and crossing the Red Sea at the same time. Let's go into Exodus, the 13th chapter. Exodus chapter 13. I mean, people have left class because of that. Arguing with people because of that. Even put division in the class between some members in some of the camps because of that. Because they said Passover and unleavened bread is the same night. And ain't nobody read no book. When you don't read the book, then people is confusion, and God is not the author of confusion. Exodus 13, we're going to start at verse 3. Exodus 13 and 3. Okay, go ahead.
And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which you came out from Egypt out of the house of bondage.
Go ahead.
For by strength of hand of the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten.
There shall no leavened bread be eaten. Go ahead.
This day came ye out in the month Abib.
Now you came out in the month of Abib. Skip down to verse 6 and continue.
7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to the Lord.
Now, you know, a sister called me from Little Rock, Arkansas, and she is in one of the Bible classes down there. I ain't going to call the name, because I don't want to call nobody out. But one of the teachers from out of town went there and told him, well, you know, you got to put the wine out. I said, that sounds like what happened in the early days of the Israeli God. People tell you got to put the wine out, you got to put the beer out because of hops. You put everything out the house. I said, when you get ready to put that wine and that liquor out, let me know. I haven't heard that in 40 years. And some people are teaching that you have to get rid of the wine and stuff like that. Who is your teacher? Whoever you are, you know. And whoever sent this guy to this class in Little Rock, you know who you sent. That let me know that maybe you still don't have the understanding you should have. It's all that simple. What verse were we?
We're at 7th verse now.
5th verse?
7.
7th verse, read it.
Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee. Neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters.
So he says, shall be eaten. It didn't say, well, you know, I'm going to abstain from all bread for 7 days. It said you're supposed to eat some. So if you don't like unleavened bread, you get you a big cracker and you bite you a piece with it every day. Now you know that you are not in violation. Skip down to verse 10 and read it.
Mm-hmm. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in its season from year to year.
In its season from year to year. Skip down to verse 17 and continue.
And it came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines.
Go ahead.
Although that was near. For God said, let's peradventure the people repent when they see war and return to Egypt.
Now let you know them people didn't have no belief. God knew who he was dealing with. Israel didn't have no faith. They didn't watch their God destroy Egypt for them. But he had to take them another way instead of taking a shortcut, because he said, look, these Philistines come out on these Hebrews, instead of them beating them down, because I'm with them, they're going to run back to Egypt. That's why he took them by way of the Red Sea. Go ahead and read.
18. But God led them, the people, about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea.
Go ahead.
And the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt.
Now, they went up out of the land of Egypt. They was harnessed. Skip down to verse 21. 21 and go ahead.
And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way.
Go ahead.
And by night in the pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night.
So now, Israel had light all the time, sisters and brothers, even when it wasn't no light on the Egyptians. We're going to show you that. Read the next verse.
He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people.
Now, Israel always had light, even when the dark came. Let's go into the 14th chapter of Exodus and start at verse 1. Exodus 14 and 1. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Phahad-Neroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-Zephon, before it shall encamp before the sea.
So he told them, tell them to encamp at the sea. Let's see what happened. Keep reading.
And Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness hath shut them in.
Now the Lord was getting ready to hit Egypt upside the head one more time. So he put that in their mind. Oh, they locked in now. They got a mountain on one side and the sea on the other. We shouldn't have let them go. Let's go down there and kill them or either bring them back. Go ahead and read.
4. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them.
Go ahead.
And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord.
Go ahead.
And did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have you done this? That we had let Israel go from serving us.
Now the Lord hardened their hearts, so they repented. And now, why have we done this? We didn't let them people go, and we had some good slaves, good servants. So what happened? Go ahead and read.
And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him.
So he grabbed all his army and pursued Israel. Skip down to verse 10 and read it.
And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them.
Go ahead.
And they were so afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord.
You know, I don't understand that mentality. You've seen him destroy Egypt to spring you. Now, why isn't he going to let the Egyptians come and destroy you? I'd have been blowing my fingernail and rolling my eyes. They ain't got enough yet. Instead of screaming out to the Lord. The Lord done showed you what he's going to do for you.
Yes, sir.
Skip down to 13 and read it.
And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord.
They should have seen it already, shouldn't they?
That's right.
That's why all them people in the Israeli God, the Lord said that he was grieved with them for 40 years. They ain't going to be in the first resurrection, except for a few of them, you know, like Moses, Caleb, and all. But the majority of them ain't going to be in the first resurrection because they just never believed God, no matter what he did. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord. We need to listen to this too. Go ahead and read.
Which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, you shall see them again no more forever.
So these Egyptians that you're scared of, you ain't going to see them no more. Big statement. Verse 19. Verse 19. Go ahead.
And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them.
So the Lord moved that cloud, and he got that angel and went behind Israel. Go ahead and read.
And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that one came not near the other all the night.
Now, Israel, we read, came out of Egypt by night, didn't we? But on Israel's side, he had a day. On their side, the Egyptian, he had a night. He let the weather go let the day go like it was. But he gave Israel light. And that let me know, if you stick to your God, you're going to always have light.
Yes, sir.
You're going to always be able to see your way. You just got to stick with it. Go ahead and read. 21.
And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided.
Now, do you think that God needed Moses to stretch his staff out over the sea to make that happen?
No, no.
No, but what was he doing? He was giving us a message. If you are a true servant of God, then you wield the power of God.
Yes, sir.
Use it. Use it. God didn't need Moses to stretch his staff out over the sea, but he's giving us a message. Use it. Every time he did something in Egypt, he let Moses make a move. And he said, the book says, he destroyed Egypt by sending evil angels among them. You know what that's telling me? That Moses was commanding angels in the name of God. Sisters and brothers, y'all just don't know the power that we will. You got to get serious and tap into it. You'd be surprised at the things you have coming to you if you will the power of God. But in order to do that, you got to walk in his way. Ain't no sinner going to wield his power. Go ahead and read what verse?
22.
Uh-huh.
And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground.
Go ahead.
And the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left.
Go ahead.
And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea.
Uh-huh.
Even Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen.
That lets you know that God hardened their heart. Because ain't no way I'd have been so stupid. I'm going to follow somebody and the seed have been split in front. I ain't going in there. Only the Lord had to make them go in there. Go ahead and read.
And it came to pass that in the morning watch, the Lord looked into the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of the fire of the cloud and troubled the host of the Egyptians.
Go ahead.
And took off their chariot wheels that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel. For the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians.
So the Lord finally let them open their eye. Wait a minute. The wheels coming off the chariot. The Lord is fighting for these people. Let us flee. They forgot about trying to kill Israel now. Now they want to save them life. It's their own life. But when you done cross God too far, it's payday. Let's look at this payday. Go ahead and read.
26. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand over the sea.
He didn't need Moses to do that. But still, he given us a message. I have given you the use of my power. Use it. Stretch out your rod over the sea. Go ahead and read.
That the waters may come again upon the Egyptians and upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea.
You notice Moses didn't hesitate? He didn't have no doubt. I don't know. You know, the Lord's going to split a sea if I put my... Or he going to drown. He didn't have no doubt. Do it. Sometimes we are so careful until we miss out on good things that the Lord has for us.
That's truth, brother.
I have people in churches, you know, you ain't supposed to wear jewelry and all this stuff. What did the people spoil from the Egyptians?
Jewelry, gold, jewels, and gold.
People don't read the book. You got somebody in there, come in with jewelry and all, you're going to condemn them, but the pastor is sleeping with 2 or 3 of the sisters in the congregation. You got your priorities mixed up. What verse are we?
27.
Go ahead.
And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength.
Go ahead.
When the morning appeared, the Egyptians were fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea.
When the morning appeared, didn't it?
Right.
Because, like the book said, they came out of Egypt at night. Go ahead and read.
And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. And there remained not so much as one of them.
He didn't let one of them get away. Drowned every one of them. Skip down and read verse 30. Go ahead.
Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore.
Now, what else do you need to have faith in this God? He done destroyed Egypt, and then when he sent the whole Egyptian army at you, he drowned every one of them. Why is it that Israel did not believe in this God? That's why I asked the question. Israel, what is it that I have done to offend your fathers?
Right, that's what the Lord said.
Go into Numbers, the 33rd chapter. Numbers chapter 33. And we still don't have no faith in God. Still don't. Brother used to ask me all the time, brother, what's your secret? When they saw the Israel of God growing like beaver teeth. I say, keep the commandments of God and believe in Jesus.
Yes, sir.
They don't want to do neither one of them. They want to keep the commandments and they spit on Jesus.
Yes, sir.
You ask me my secret. There ain't no Hebrew Israelite class since Titus took us out in 70 AD has gotten as large as the Israel of God. You don't see the Israel of God here. Right here is just a finger. Look at the calendars. That's not all of the Israel of God. I get emails from people and telephone from places I didn't even know existed on the planet. You know why? Because I wield the power of God. I tell you, sisters and brothers, about 40, maybe 45 years ago, I was at a Hebrew meeting. I'll never forget. It was a Brother Hodges class. It was on, what's that slant street? Right, we was all in there, and brothers talking and doing all, and I got up and said, look here, because I saw all the negative stuff that was going on. Not with Brother Hodges. That's one thing I took my hat off to him. You know, he didn't get negative, but a lot of Hebrew was there. And I got up and told him, said, look here, I'm going to sanitize the name of Israel and put Israel on the map. And look at me, who you think you are? Oh, okay, where are you now? They all gone. Because I knew what the secret was. Keep the commandments and believe in Jesus and keep his testimony. That is the secret, sisters and brothers.
Yes.
Numbers the 33rd, chapter 33. Numbers chapter 33. But do nobody believe, they don't have faith. I remember when the first day we opened up this place, the choir didn't want to do it, but I forced them to do it. And that was to sing the song that we've come this far by faith. And that's where we come. We didn't have no money. When the brother was building this camp, he kept saying, you're going to be all right. I said, look here, man, when your first check bounced, come talk to me. Never for a minute I think that we couldn't do this. Never for a second. Never even occurred to my mind that we was going to fail. Verse 1, go ahead.
These are the journeys of the children of Israel.
These are the journeys of the children of Israel. Go ahead and read.
Which went forth out of the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
With their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron.
Go ahead.
And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journey by the commandment of the Lord.
Now Moses wrote it down, so there shouldn't be no conflict. What did he write? Go ahead.
And these are their journeys according to their goings out.
Go ahead.
And they departed from Ramses in the first month on the 15th day of the first month.
And they departed from Ramses on the first month, on the 15th day of the month. Go ahead and read.
And on the morrow after the Passover.
And on the morrow after the Passover. Finish that.
The children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians.
Now, what does the morrow after the Passover mean? So how you going to make them one day? Don't nobody read. It was already set in order, sisters and brothers. It was set in order in the 23rd chapter of Leviticus. Let's go to Deuteronomy 16. Deuteronomy chapter 16. Because don't nobody look, sisters and brothers. You wondered why the Israel of God is prospering? Because we believe what's written. And if it's not written, I don't want to hear about it. Deuteronomy 16, we're going to start at verse 16. Deuteronomy 16 and verse 16. Okay, go ahead.
3 times in a year shall all your males appear before the Lord thy God in the place where he shall choose.
Now, these are the feasts. Go ahead and read.
In the feast of unleavened bread.
That's this one. Go ahead.
And in the feast of weeks.
That's Pentecost. Go ahead.
And in the feast of tabernacles.
That's the feast of ingathering. That's why the people are going to have to keep that every year when Jesus comes back. Because it represents the ingathering. Because still, he gathered his sheep. Go ahead and read.
And they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
Uh-huh.
Every man shall give as he is able.
Go ahead.
According to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee.
Now, everybody's supposed to do this, sisters and brothers, as he is able, 3 times a year. That's why I know this Ethiopian was an Israelite, doing what God commanded him. Let's go into Acts, the 8th chapter. Acts chapter 8. Because, sisters and brothers, I have no allegiance to the Hebrew Israelites. I have allegiance to the God of Israel.
Yes, sir.
You Hebrew Israelite, I catch you wrong, I'm going to correct you. And if you will not allow yourself to be corrected and you want to get all negative, I can do that too. I'll never forget, when I was working for this company, Murphy Miller, I was doing what you call domestic and residential services, because my profession is the heating and air conditioning and refrigeration repairman. And I used to do the projects down there. And one of the white boys asked me, man, ain't you scared in them projects when them tall buildings going up on the elevator? I said, why should I be scared? Maybe they should be scared of me. It looked like me, I look like them. So if they can get violent, I can too. So if there's some fear, it should be mutual.
Yes, sir.
Fear God. You fear God enough, you don't have to fear nobody else. Government or anything else. But then you don't tempt God. God told you to obey the laws of the land.
That's right.
You have to know it all, not just a piece that you like. Acts 8 and 26. Because the Lord said 3 times a year shall all the males come before him. Verse 26, go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord spake unto Philip, saying, arise, go toward the south, unto the way that goeth down to Jerusalem to Gaza,
go
which
ahead.
is desert.
Uh-huh.
And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia, a eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of the Ethiopians, who had charge of all her treasures, had come to Jerusalem for to worship.
Now, I can't understand why the queen of Ethiopia, Candace, was called the queen of Ethiopia. He should have been called the queen of Sheba.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But maybe the queen of Sheba was the king of Sheba, queen of Sheba. And the queen of Ethiopia was the queen of Ethiopia.
Yeah.
That's another folklore that the Ethiopians started.
Yeah.
But go ahead and read. That's another lesson. Go ahead and read.
28. Was returning and sitting in his chariots and read Isaiah the prophet.
Go ahead.
Then the Spirit said unto Philip, go near and join thyself to this chariot.
I thought an angel was talking to Philip. So where did spirit come from? Oh, angels are spirit, aren't they? Because they say he maketh his angels spirits.
Right.
Why are you doing this, Brother Boyd? Because the world is so messed up. I can't overlook nothing. Back at the top of that verse, what verse was it?
29.
Go ahead.
Then the Spirit said unto Philip, go near and join thyself to this chariot.
Uh-huh.
And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah.
Uh-huh.
And said, understandest what thou readest?
Now look, they got a so-called Ethiopian Bible, right? Why was he reading the prophet Isaiah out of the Lord's Bible?
Good here.
Go ahead.
And he said, how can I except some man should guide me?
Now, this man had a lot of wisdom. He said, how can I except a man guide me? People tell me, well, you know, the Holy Ghost is going to teach me. You can't teach me. I'm going to teach my own self. the Lord set the protocol, always had men to teach me. Finish that verse.
And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him.
And he wanted him to come up and sit with him. And once he got up there, Philip dealt with him. Let's see what he taught out of the book of Isaiah. Skip down to verse 35 and read it.
Then Philip opened his mouth and began at the same scripture and preached unto him Jesus.
You mean he preaching Jesus out of Isaiah? Jesus told you to search the scripture. You think that you have eternal life, but they are they that testify of me.
Yes.
That's why I know this guy was not an Ethiopian, and he was an Israelite, doing what God had commanded him. 3 times a year shall all of your males come before me. Israel did not deal with nobody else but Israelites. Let's go over to Acts the 11th chapter, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Acts chapter 11, and we're going to start reading at verse 19. I got 3 more scriptures after this. Somebody want me to let them know. Acts 11 and verse 19. 11 and 19. Because this was happening after they killed, what's that, Stephen?
Yes, Stephen.
Stoned him to death. Israel did that.
Yes, they did.
We killed our prophets. We killed the Lord's apostles. Nobody else did nothing else. We did it. When they got ready to kill Jesus, the Hebrews had to appeal to Caesar to get him crucified. And now you want to blame everybody? Verse 19, go ahead.
Now they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that rose about Stephen traveled as far as Phoenice, unto Cyprus, and Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only.
Wait a minute, to what?
To the Jews only.
Now, that's why I know that Philip wasn't sent to talk to know about this guy, because he wasn't an Israelite. They were preaching the word to Jews only, and the angel said, well, the angel said, look here, the angel ain't going to do nothing that God don't tell him to do.
That's right.
But the whole thing is, it was a different time. What verse and finish that?
We're 20th verse.
Go ahead.
And some of them were men of Cyprus and Cyrene, which when they were come to Antioch, spake unto the Grecians, preaching the Lord Jesus.
That's talking about the Greek Israelite sisters and brothers.
Yes.
I'm an American. But I am an American Israelite. Teaching to them only. Why was they doing this? Let's back up to Matthew the 10th chapter and find out. Matthew chapter 10. And we're going to stay reading that verse 1.
Okay.
You know, we got Hebrews running around now talking about the northern tribes, you know. What do they say? They're strangers now?
Northern tribes, oh, yeah.
Yeah, 10 tribes that lost.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
But look what the Lord said.
Okay.
Matthew 10 and 1. Okay, read it.
And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits, casting them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. So
that's what the Lord do. When he send you, he give you the power to do everything he wants you to do. Skip down to verse 5 and continue.
These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Go not into the way of the Gentiles. Go ahead and read.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Because they was not Israelites. They was taken out in 7 A.D. by the Assyrians. Not 7 A.D., 700 B.C. by the Assyrians.
Yeah.
They was not Israelites. Even though he sent a priest back there because the Lord was killing them with lions because they were dealing with them pagan gods, he went and talked to them about the God of Israel, but still they were strangers.
Yes.
Every one of them said, Lord, I don't want you to go in the way of the Gentiles, the children of Japhet, the white folks, nor into any city of Samaria because they were strangers too. Most of them was black folks. In other words, I don't want you to go to no stranger. Here's where I want you to go. Read the next verse.
But go ye rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
But I want you to go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Why is that the Lord put that restriction on his apostles? Because Israel and his priests. Israel was too dumb to teach somebody. So he had to educate his priests first. Once he got them educated, then he sent them to the rest of the people. But until that time come, them Jews knew that. They was all over. Who do you think that was taught by the apostles? That's why when Peter finally went down there and taught Cornelius and a bunch of Gentiles, when he got back to Jerusalem, them Jews was mad at him. They don't you know, you done went out there and you done went in and ate with Gentiles, strangers. Why were they mad? Because of what Jesus said. Peter had to break that thing down.
Yes, sir.
And plus he said, and the Spirit bade me do it. And you see these 7 guys here? They was with me too. In other words, if I'm going to get stoned, you got to kill them too. So nowadays, they tell you, well, you know, like Paul taught, the Apostle Paul, you know, he taught against keeping the feast days and the Sabbath days. I said, is that right? Let's have a look at the Apostle Paul. Let's go into Acts 18 chapter. See, sisters and brothers, you got so much bad teaching out here until you can't hardly leave nothing out. Acts chapter 18 rather. Acts chapter 18. I remember when Brother Stern got a phone call from a brother talking about me. You know, brother, you done unleashed this young N-word on us. You know what Brother Stern told him? Get the book and shut him up. Because I jumped everybody. You hear me? I even jumped his teacher. And called in on me. He done unleashed me on them like I'm some kind of animal. He said, then shut him up. Get the book and shut him up. 18 and 18. Acts 18, and we're going to start reading at verse 18. Okay, go ahead.
And Paul, after his tarry there yet a good while, and then took his leave of the brethren and sailed from thence to Syria. And with him Priscilla and Aquila, having shown his head in Caesarea, for he had a vow. See, people always, you know, he had some Hebrews called in saying that shaving your head is a sin. Yeah. You mean Paul going to have a vow and he going to sin by shaving his head? Come on. Go anyway, that's enough. I keep talking to these things. I keep you here until the sun go down. Yeah. Go ahead and read. And he came to Ephesus and left them there. But he himself entered into the synagogue and reasoned with the Jews. Go ahead. And when they desired him to tarry a long time with them, he consented not. But bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means keep this feast that cometh to Jerusalem, but I will return again unto you if God will. And he sailed from Ephesus. Now, why did he say, I must by all means keep this feast? Because the Lord said 3 times a year shall all the males come before me. Right. News bulletin, the Apostle Paul was a Hebrew Israelite. Don't you know the world don't know that? Even though he told you. Yes, son. I must by all means keep this feast that cometh in Jerusalem. Sisters and brothers, if that was the case, then Paul would say, ain't no problem. What verse was that? We just finished 21.
So if he was going to keep that feast in Jerusalem, why is he turning around and tell people running around saying he don't keep the feast? Something wrong with that, ain't it?
Yeah.
Now let's go into Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter, because once we have these feasts. You know, we have people that visit, and they are extremely holy. Because they have decided that drinking is sin. So we're going to drink up some wine. We ain't going to get drunk, but we're going to drink up some wine with our feast. No whiskey, brother, and no sitting in the car drinking. If you want to drink your whiskey, do it at another time on your own property, someplace else. But this is what the Lord said concerning this feast. And we have people took issue with this. I have people call me on that. Other than that, drinking wine. What kind of church is this? I said, the one that follows the law of God. You're going to condemn me for drinking wine, but you're going to get up on the first day of the week that's called the Sunday, which is the day of the sun, and the scripture told you it is called that because of the sun worshipers, and you're going to go to church. And the Lord said to remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, and that is the seventh day of the week. People say, well, you know, the Jews' Sabbath day is on Saturday, but the Christian Sabbath day is on Sunday. Christian ain't got no Sabbath day if it's on Sunday. For real. But the original Christians, the real one, Peter them, kept the Sabbath day on the seventh day of the week. Verse 22. What does the Lord say? Go ahead and read.
Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there.
Now, you know you got brothers running around talking about you ain't supposed to pay no tithes but on these feasts. I see why you ain't got no place to hold service. I'm just pointing out the ignorance of some of these people. Yeah. Go ahead and read.
The tithe of thy corn, and of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the firstings of thy herbs and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always.
See, you're supposed to do this besides your weekly tithe. You understand what I'm saying? We just don't push it because the Lord has given us enough so we don't need to push it to pull it off. But he said you should do that. What verse are we?
24.
Go ahead.
And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there.
Go ahead.
When the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shall go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose.
So if the place is too far, because their tithes at that time was just animals and wine, whatever you did, cattle, sheep, whatever your contribution was. Sometimes if it be too long for you to drive or carry all of your stuff that you're going to donate, I want you to set it and take that money and do what? Go ahead.
And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
For whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Now, that's within the law of God now. Let's don't get crazy. Go ahead and read.
For oxen.
For oxen.
Or for sheep.
Or for sheep.
Or for wine.
Or for wine.
Or for strong drink.
I got to say it. Jack Daniels. But you can't have the Jack Daniels here. You got to have it on your own. So, sisters and brothers, what we're going to do is we're going to eat some food, drink a little wine, and rejoice in the presence of our God. Because this is something that he commanded, not requested.
Yes, sir.
Okay?